Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the game according to me. This is episode 113, right? This is no 114. This is episode 114. I'm losing track of my episodes. Oh boy. Well, we're gonna talk today about, of course, the NFL week and the college football week. I thought that we would have the college football. I thought we would have the college football top 25 playoff rankings, but because it's usually after week 8 of the season, but apparently it's after next week. So next week we'll have the top 25 to break down. But as of right now, what we do have else to talk about is the World Series. Both the Phillies and the Padres, not Philly Padres, they were in the NLCS. Phillies and the Astros have made it to the World Series. So let's talk about that first. So in the World Series, we have the Houston Astros taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies won their NLCS 4-1, beating the Padres with a multitude of ways. A pitching, masterpiece in game 1. Game 2 they lost to the Padres, but game 3 came back with some timely hitting. Game 4 was an absolute bomb fest, and then game 5 was a Bryce Harper opposite field game winning home run, to beat the Padres 4-3, send them to the World Series. Why? While in the ALCS, the Astros just took care of the Yankees 4 games straight. It seemed like the Yankees never really had a chance, and only in that fourth game did it look like something happened. Aaron Judge was just not who he was. Um, he's just not who he was in the regular season, his postseason, and his ALCS. So I just don't know. So we'll see where Aaron Judge goes to after the end of the year. Um, are you talking about the Dodgers? The Dodgers are just gonna pay. Dodgers now becoming the Yankees, and if he becomes a Dodger, that's gonna be interesting. There's some talk about him maybe staying in New York, but going to the Mets, which would be the biggest blow. It's gonna be a blow losing Aaron Judge to free agency, but they lose him to the Mets rather than the Dodgers or even the Cubs, something like that. It could be a lot different because that's the crosstown rival in city. That's that's something different. So we got the World Series going here. It starts Friday. Game 1 is Friday. Game 2 Saturday. Take off Sunday, which is smart. Don't want to do it with football. Then once again, you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Uh, Again, take off Thursday. You're not um, doing football again on Thursday night, which is again smart. Game 6 will be Friday, November 4th, and Saturday will be game 7 will be Saturday, November 5th. So really smart that they make sure that the games were not gonna be on days that the NFL would destroy them. Even though you get 2 days of college football, I think you can you can take away eyes from college football. You're not taking away eyes from the NFL. So, what do I think about this series? Well, I think this is really about the pitching and the hitting. Can the Phillies hitting stay hot even after a 5-day layoff? Can they stay hot? Against these Astros pitching, or the Astros is going to shut them out just like they shut down the Yankees. It's going to be very interesting to see. I've not watched a lot of baseball at all, really not all. But I'm gonna be watching some of these stuff. I get SmackDown watching on Friday, something like that, and then so I do that. But I'll be trying to look at some of the Major League Baseball World Series, Yeah, check it out. But I think the Astros are just too good. So I'm going to say the Astros in six. Uh, yeah, I said Astros in six. So, uh, but let's check it out. All games are gonna be on Fox. But now let's check out college football. Week 8 of the college football season, the top 25. We had Tennessee take on Tennessee Martin, 65-24. Obviously, that was going to be the case. I don't know why these teams. I really wish he just really couldn't do this, but okay. And a little nice little game there. They took out DJ Uangale in Clemson, put in the backup because Clemson was offense was being a little bit ineffective. They had a hard time against Syracuse, and you know, um, but they did win 27-21. Syracuse undefeated streak, no more. Clemson still undefeated, and continue on. Ohio State beat Iowa 54-10. Cincinnati beat SMU 29-27. Wake Forest beat Boston College 43-15. Oklahoma State took down Texas 41-34. LSU beat Mississippi. Mississippi, I think was Mississippi undefeated. I'm not sure, but if they was, they're not anymore. 45-20, LSU beat Mississippi. Oregon takes on UCLA 45-30. UCLA was undefeated. They're no more. Tulane 28-38 to Memphis is 28. Alabama meets Mississippi State 30-6. Shut down completely the spread offense of Mississippi State. Unreal that Alabama defense. South Carolina beat Texas A&M 30-24. Penn State beat Minnesota 45-17, and TCU beat Kansas 38-28. Kansas State, excuse me, 38-28. TCU undefeated now. And as we look ahead to week 19, week 9 of the college football season, tomorrow night, some interesting games. NC State takes on Virginia. NC State ranked 24th in the nation. And Utah at Washington State. Utah 14th. Even though their loss to Oregon has been hasn't hurt them that much. So that's interesting. But Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who last week they wasn't it was on Peacock, it wasn't on NBC, it was on Peacock. They beat UNLV. But now they have to take on Syracuse inside the Carrier Dome. Syracuse is coming off a loss to Clemson and ranked 16th in the nation. It's going to be interesting to see what Notre Dame can do. I love the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, but this year I just don't know about them, so I would expect them to lose. Ohio State at Penn State. This is a good one. Second ranked Ohio State Buckeyes against the 13th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. This game usually has been at nighttime, but it's going to be a day game. So interesting to see, can Ohio State, can they penetrate their Penn State defense? TCU at West Virginia. Oklahoma State is at Kansas State. Cincinnati is at UCF. Oregon is at California. Wake Forest is at Louisville. The number one team in the nation, the Georgia Bulldogs, taking on the Florida Gators in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party is what it's used to being called, but I don't know what it's called now. So I'm still going to call it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. It's not played in Georgia. It's not played in Florida. Well, it is played in Florida, but it's not played at their home stadiums. It's halfway in between, which is Jacksonville. It's going to be inside TAII Stadium. So that's gonna be a good one. The 17th ranked Illinois fighting Illini. Illinois having a great year under Brett Bielema. Running the ball, their running back is one of the top running backs in the nation. That's great. They're gonna take on Nebraska. They should win there. South Carolina takes on Missouri at home. Tennessee and Kentucky. This is a big time rivalry. Um, uh, not, I don't know when it was probably the last time. Who knows when the last time the Kentucky Wildcats were ranked and the Tennessee Vols were ranked in this game. But this should be an interesting one. It's at 7 o'clock at night. Maybe one of those ones in one of those ones on ABC or something like that. USC's at Arizona. Michigan State and Michigan, 7:30. This might be the ABC game. Michigan State at Michigan. Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Michigan State is not having a good year, unlike last year. But listen, you can that saying you can throw out the records when these two teams play is exactly what this means. This is a rivalry, big game. This is for Paul Bunyan's axe. This is going to be a battle. Mississippi at Texas A&M, and finally Pittsburgh at UNC and Stanford at UCLA. So those are some of the games going on within the top 25 teams. Should be a very interesting week of college football. We'll see what some things happen. Some games where you might think they might not be as on paper they shouldn't be as close as it should be, like Florida against Georgia, Ohio State at Penn State. But these are games within inside their divisions and inside their conferences. So these are going to be games that there's going to be probably so close. Michigan and Michigan State after that. But these are going to be games that are just going to be so close and so battle tested that these could be some big upsets happening this week. So make sure you're there watching it inside in front of your TV. It's going to be awesome. And now let's start with the NFL. Going back to last Thursday, the Cardinals beat the Saints 42-34. Andy Dalton had a bad night, threw a couple of pick sixes. And the Cardinals really had some trouble on the sidelines. It seemed like Kyler Murray went to the sidelines telling Cliff Kingsbury to calm the fuck down. Let that screen at him a couple of times like that. They take it off as nothing, but we'll wait and see what happens with them between those two entities and things like that. And just after the Robbie Anderson was traded from the Carolina Panthers to the Cardinals, he didn't get a couple of plays in, but he should get more this week. As of course we all know they lost Hollywood Brown for the year. Now the Sunday's action, the Ravens beat the Browns 23-20. They held on to a fourth quarter lead finally. Browns had to try a 60-yard field goal because of a unfortunate procedure penalty that didn't seem to be a procedure penalty. We couldn't see it nowhere, so it was like that. An upset of massive proportions. The Panthers beat the Buccaneers 21-3, and it did just was an upset. This was a total beatdown. And you know it was going to be one of those days when on the first play of the game, Tom Brady threw a pass to Michael Evans, who was wide open, and he just couldn't catch it. Could not catch it at all. So it was going to be one of those days, and it was for the Buccaneers. They lost 21-3. Bengals and Falcons. Bengals beat the Falcons 35-17. Joe Burrow usually, what we know about Joe Burrow, he loves to have one of these games where he just puts up 400 yards passing, and that's what it was today. Jamar Chase was there, but I think Jamar Chase went out with an injury. But Bengals just smoked the Falcons 35-17. The Cowboys beat the Lions 24-6. Seemed like they did use the playbook that they was using with Cooper Rush. They used with Dak Prescott, and it seemed to work out for them. 24-6 Lions. They kind of fooled us the first couple of weeks, I guess, because they was offensively they were moving the ball and scoring points, and the last couple of games they have done jack crap. So I don't know what it is about the Lions. So you just have to deal with that. The Giants with the Jaguars 23-17. Now, as the Ravens finally didn't have a fourth quarter collapse. Once again, the New York Giants had a fourth quarter comeback, and they totally did it. Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones running the footballs and things like that. So Giants, still 6-1, and still I think a good team. I don't think this is stopping. I really don't. Giants are something to mess with. Giants 23, Jaguars 17. Great play at the end too by the Giants defense from keeping DJ Chark out of the end zone. Or was it someone else? Christian Kirk, maybe. Yeah, it was Christian Kirk. Kept him out of the end zone on the last play of the game. So, Jaguars just an inch close to maybe winning that game, but the Giants held on 23-17. Another upset. Commanders beat the Packers 23-21. Aaron Rodgers said yesterday on the Pat McAfee show that people who are not playing well need to have need to stop getting reps. What does that mean for same for you? Because you're not playing well, Aaron. You're missing passes that you would have never missed. You are, you're making the wrong reads because you don't, trust. You're not giving these other receivers the opportunity to try to trust them, and so he's making the wrong reads. It's just he's not playing well. So maybe he should not get snaps either. Just Jordan Love should get some snaps. Yeah, and I think I said this either last week or a couple of weeks ago. Taylor Heineke has played well over his past 2 or 3 years in relief, and even though he had a pick six in this game, he played well again. I think you got to go with Taylor Heineke for the rest of the season. You really do. So, um, Packers go down to the Commanders, lost 3 straight. Unreal to see what the Packers do, and now they got Buffalo next, and that should be a 4th straight loss. Titans beat the Colts 19-10. Matt Ryan has a separated shoulder, but that's not the reason why he will not play anymore. It's probably just because of the way he's been playing. He's had 9 interceptions and 11 fumbles this year. They're just turning the ball over way too much. So they're going to go with Sam Ehlinger out of Texas. So he's going to be the quarterback for the rest of the year. Nick Foles is going to be the number 2. Matt Ryan is going to be not playing anymore. So if this is the end for Matt Ryan, a tremendous career, I would have originally said that he was a Hall of Famer, but I don't know anymore. And it's not because of the way he's played the last couple weeks. I just don't know anymore. I really just don't know. So because he plays in an era, if he did what he did 20 years ago, yes, he'd be automatic Hall of Famer. But he plays in an era of passing, so his stats, even though he's at the top of a lot of categories, they're because he's in this passing era. So, but who knows? If we've seen the less of Matt Ryan, you hate to see him go out like this. So, but Titans win 19-10. The Raiders beat the Texans 38-20. The Jets, another win for the Jets. New York teams are killing it this year. Jets beat the Broncos. They were without Russell Wilson, 16-9. Chiefs beat the 49ers 44-23. Christian McCaffrey, he only played sparingly. Wasn't, but of course he wasn't going to be enough to take on the Chiefs. Chiefs were just too good, and so 49ers couldn't beat the Chiefs. Chiefs win 44-23. The Chargers lost to the Seahawks again. Another surprise team, the Jets and the Giants, and now the Seahawks. Seahawks are at the top of the NFC West after 7 weeks. Who would have said that? Who would have thought that? If you would have said Seahawks are going to be the top on the top of the division of the NFC West after 7 weeks, we would have called you crazy. But Geno Smith has played exceptionally well. Um, and he's just doing great things out there in Seattle. I'm almost making it seem like that Russell Wilson was the problem because now Russell Wilson's in the Broncos and the Broncos can't do shit. So so it's just amazing. And the AFC West, it's the Chiefs. We thought that was going to be the team where possibly every team in that division would make the playoffs, but really, it's really us, just the Chiefs. It's only always been just the Chiefs are the class of that division. So Seahawks beat the Chargers 37-23. The Dolphins beat the Steelers on Sunday night. Tua's first game back looked okay. They won 16-10. And the last shock of the weekend, my team, the Chicago Bears, went into Foxborough against Bill Belichick, who had like a 42-3 record against quarterbacks in their first or second year, and just absolutely obliterated the Patriots. At one point, they had a 10-0 lead. Mac Jones threw an interception. They brought in Billy Zappi, and Zappi quickly put 14 points on the board. And you thought, well, here comes the rout. But the Bears' defense took tough, and the offense was different. They decided to run the ball more with Justin Fields and do what you have to do to win. That is the thing. Do what you have to do to win. But I am like I've talked about with Lamar Jackson. I'm going to say here with Justin Fields. I can't be you know biased here. You know, if your quarterback best attribute is his legs, he's not your quarterback. He's your running back. And I think it's and that's what it is. He's your running back with a nice arm, and I think that's what it is happening with Lamar Jackson, and that might be what it is with Fields. If you have to run him, if you have to run him 12 times on design runs, you know, to win the game, he's not a quarterback. So, but again, do what you have to do to win, and they did. 33-14 Bears beat the Patriots. As we look to Week 18, tomorrow night's game. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, it's Lamar Jackson against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Can the Buccaneers get back on track after this devastating loss to the Panthers? And can Baltimore keep it rolling? Can they get a lead in the fourth quarter and again maintain that lead? We'll see tomorrow night. That should be a pretty interesting game for both teams. Now look ahead. We got morning football. The Broncos and the Jaguars are going to be playing over in London on this Sunday. Um, don't know if Russell Wilson is healthy enough yet to play. It could be Brett Whippen and the Jaguars. Um, home away from home. They should go ahead and really, really think about um, being this. They should really think about taking this opportunity to try to get back on track. And get back into the win column. Dolphins are at the Lions. Normal noon kick. Um, yeah, I mean, listen, the Dolphins are dangerous with those guys on the outside, Hill and Waddle, and now that Tua's back, they can be extremely dangerous. And the Lions, listen, you got to show some strength because this is not no, this is not good. Dan Campbell, hell of a guy. He got his players running for him, but they don't seem to, uh, you know, they can't do anything. And especially the last three games, I don't know what's up with the Lions. So I want the Lions to show some kahunas here, and step up and get back to playing the offense that you were playing in the first 3 weeks of the season. Try to upset these Dolphins. Excuse me. Panthers are at the Falcons. Falcons are tied with the Buccaneers, and even with the Panthers, I think all three teams are 3-4 going into Week 8, and tied for the top of the division. So with the Saints being 2-5, so this is a bad division. So, but let's see what happens between these two. Can the Panthers, after trading one of their top receivers and trading their you know star running back, can they then make the playoffs? Can they do what the Phillies did? Phillies fired their manager, now in the World Series. Can the Panthers do this? Fired their coach, traded away their best player and their one of the top wide receivers. We'll see. Panthers and the Falcons. Cardinals are at the Vikings. Vikings coming off their bye. Cardinals have that mini bye from the Thursday night game. Should be an interesting one. Let's see if the relationship between Cliff and Kyler is better or is it still shaky, and what happens with that offense. Let's see if the Vikings can continue their good run as they saw as the top of the NFC North. Bears at the Cowboys. Listen, this is you know what they did to New England was shocking. I don't think they're going to do this to the Cowboys, especially with Michael Parsons in their defense. So this is going to be interesting to watch from after what we've seen on Monday night. This is going to be interesting to watch to see how the Bears do to the Cowboys. Can they actually do the same thing to the Cowboys that they did to the Patriots? We'll have to see. But I'm not predicting it though. I think the Cowboys will give this team hell, especially in the passing game with Michael Parsons. Raiders are at the Saints. Steelers are at the Eagles. Eagles need to keep it continued. They're coming off their bye. Can they stay undefeated? Patriots at the Jets. This is going to be the biggest test for the biggest test for the Jets. Can they beat the Patriots at home? Can they? We don't know who's the quarterback. I didn't mention it earlier, but Mac Jones started. I did actually mention Mac Jones started the game, but then they brought in Bailey Zappi. So who's going to start? Are they gonna do this? Continue this two quarterback system? I don't know. Jets were without Brees Hall. He tore his ACL in the game against the Broncos, but they traded for James Robinson of Jacksonville because Travis Etienne is proving that he is now the full-time back in Jacksonville. So and that's good. I just when they drafted him in the first round, I said yes. That's the way to do it. He was a beast at Clemson, and he's becoming a beast in Jacksonville. So way to go there. So that's going to be interesting to see how James Robinson fits in with the Jets offense. Titans are at the Texans. This should be another game for the Titans. They need to win to stay at the top of the division. Seahawks at the Giants. This is maybe a game of the week that we didn't know was going to be the game of the week 7 weeks ago. But the Giants are going to fly out across the country, play in Seattle. Can their defense hold down Geno Smith and that Seahawks offense? And can that Giants offense, if they can't, can that Giants offense produce points to hang with the Seattle offense? That's going to be very interesting. I might pick Seattle in this one. Commanders are at the Colts. We talked about Matt Ryan not playing, not only because of severe shoulder, but for the benching. Same thing with Carson Wentz. Broke his finger. He's on IR. He will not play against his old team. It should be an interesting one. Tyler Heineke versus Sam Ellinger. The 49ers at the Rams. A couple weeks ago they played. 49ers destroyed the Rams. Now they're playing back in Los Angeles. Rams coming off their bye. The big loss for the 49ers. We'll see what Christian McCaffrey does. Gets more involved in the game plan in 49ers land. So that should be an interesting one. And then, of course, we've got the Packers at the Bills on Sunday night. Of course, NBC thought this was going to be a good team. You were gonna the Bills were going to be good, but you thought the Packers would be maybe good as well because of Aaron Rodgers. We're not seeing that right now. I'm telling you right now, the Packers have had trouble with their defense, and I just don't think I just don't believe that um, this is going to be anything close. He said in the after the game, Aaron Rodgers said, "Well, maybe this is what we need to be this underdog." And no, it's not. I don't think. I think the Bills are on a mission. I don't think they're going to take this team lightly. I think they're going to make sure that everything they have is put down on the Green Bay Packers. I expect Mike and Chris to be talking about you know you know things other than football by the fourth quarter. So, and we talking about the games talking about what happened in the earlier day in the games. So Bills are going to rout this one, I think. And then on Monday Night Football, very interesting one. The Bengals at the Browns. Browns, listen, they've had chances to win. They're 2-5. They could be anywhere from 4-3 to 5-2. But I thought if they could stay close, maybe when Deshaun Watson comes back, there could be a run. But I don't think so. I think for Browns fans, you're gonna have to wait till next year to get that full Deshaun Watson thing and everything like that. And so Bengals are right now hot. I think they're getting ready to start their role on the NFC North. So I think the Bengals are going to smoke the Browns right here on Monday Night Football. Halloween night should be interesting. All right, guys, that is it for this episode of The Game According to Me. Make sure you're here next week when I do the same thing. I recap what went down this weekend in college and the NFL, and I preview what's going to happen next week in college and the NFL. I'll talk a little bit about the World Series, and of course, continue. And like I mentioned earlier, we'll break down the college football playoff top 25. All right, guys, this is your boy AJTRIP signing off. Make sure that once again, if you want to support your boy, You go to patreon.com/AJTRIP to become a patron. Once I hit a certain amount of patrons, you will be able to determine what you hear on my other podcast, The World According to Me. Wherever you find podcasts, it should be on that platform. What videos I do on my YouTube channel, and what video games I play and live stream over on Twitch. They have to be games that I already have. I can't do that unless you buy me the game as well. So, but otherwise, from that, that's how you do it. Or you can also um, go to anchor.fm/AJTRIP show, and you can do there. There's 3 tiers, 99¢, $4.99, and $9.99. You don't get no special perks. That is just something, but it's just something that where you can, if you want to support your favorite creator, your favorite podcaster, that's the way to do it over on anchor.fm. So, yeah. But there's also the non-monetary way to support me. That's just like and subscribe and share my podcast to your all your social medias and rate my podcast and everything like that. That's also a big help as well. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to me. Your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.